I want to hear a little bit about how you got involved in this project.
Well, we were wrapping up Modern Family, and an old friend from Modern Family, Anthony Lombardo, who had gone off to write on other projects, had this idea about this feminist who hates the prom and only cares about going to Harvard. And he brought it to my producing partner, Rachel Field, also a friend from Modern Family, the beginning and end of all of my relationships. And I thought it sounded pretty cool, but it was missing something for me. And that's when we came up with the idea about the 80s. And then I was like, yes, let's do this. Pushing back against the 80s while also embracing all the good stuff that happened then and in those movies was really important to me.
I love that. I mean, I loved seeing the themes and like the little quote that Mandy has about not wanting to follow the cliches. And
Yes.
she was, in love with Harvard. And like, we see growth still within her character, but, just kind of fighting those wants in life is really amazing.
Exactly. And thinking that I grew up in the 80s, and when feminism, it was so extreme, you can't have fun and be a feminist. And I wanted to see a female character who was struggling with that as well, and struggling with the ideas of heteronormative love while also pursuing her dreams and finding that there can be a balance.
Absolutely. And I loved that the inclusion that this cast and these characters have. I mean, it's so diverse, and then we get to see different sexualities, but we don't have to really dive into it. We just get to see the representation and really just feel like everyone is welcome in this film. And I really enjoyed that as well.
As a privileged white woman, I have never had to deal with representation. I've always seen myself whenever I turn on a TV, and sometimes literally myself. I see when I turn it on. And doing this movie has made it clear to me, my eyes have been opened as well, that just the representation of a lot of the things that happen in the background, there's a lot of little sort of Easter eggs as far as the promposals go. We have, there's a young woman in a wheelchair, there's a gay couple, there's all sorts of things that are happening that aren't in the foreground, but they're being represented and sort of embraced without needing to have this big political message. Political messages are important and someone should make them, but we're not trying to make one right now. We're trying to say, have fun, enjoy this movie, and maybe you'll walk away with having these images, though, settling in your mind and normalizing them.
Yes, absolutely. I love that so much. And I do have to ask, I heard recently that you switched from Harry Styles to Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a little Easter egg of him in this movie as well. So did you have anything to do with that?
Yes, of course I did. Oh, yes. There's definitely a Harry Styles Easter egg in this movie. Even though it's an 80s movie, we're like, we gotta get him in there. I mean, how could you not? And that moment still makes, I don't want to ruin it for those who haven't seen it, but then my hair stands up on my arms. I get goosebumps whenever that moment comes up. But you know what? For some reason, my Instagram, my TikTok have been feeding me Internet Daddy Pedro Pascal recently, and it's working. The algorithm is working. I'm a victim. It's not my fault, but all of a sudden I'm like, Pedro.
I'm exactly the same way. I brought some Harry Styles stuff just because I wanted to decorate. So I brought my old 1D stuff, but then I also am on Pedro Pascal TikTok, and it's really, it sucks you in.
What happened
100%.
with social media right now? I every time my For You is like, Pedro. And I'm like, how did you know? I mean, or did you make me like this? I don't know. I love it though.
I love it too. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on the film. It was so wonderful.
Thank you. Really nice talking to you.